everyone, welcome back to another crafty decor adventure. Olivia here with Olivia's Romantic Home, where I love to share with you all how you can make your homes boutique gorgeous on a teeny tiny budget. And in today's video, I cannot wait to share with you 6 DIY Dollar Tree decor crafts. So this is episode 7 in my huge I Love Summer series. We are totally jamming out crafting and decorating for summer, so go ahead and plug in those glue guns, get out your glitter and paint, and let's get to crafting.
For the first Dollar Tree DIY, I want to do a makeover on this Dollar Tree floor mat. So I'm going to take this piece of fabric. This is some really pretty kind of French farmhouse buffalo check plaid fabric, and I'm just going to lay the mat on top of the fabric. I'm then going to take my scissors and I'm just going to trim around the mat. You could also take a pen or pencil and trace out the size of fabric that you need. That would work too. So then I'm just going to lay the mat on top of the piece of fabric, and for this project I actually recommend using a shower curtain if it's going to be an outdoor mat. And then I'm just going to take some hot glue and I'm going to hot glue the fabric onto the back of the mat. So I wanted to also trim it off and make sure there wasn't a huge bunch of extra fabric on the underside here. So this is the back side of the mat, and I'm just folding the fabric onto the mat and then just hot gluing it. This is super easy and a great way to make over an old mat that has seen better days, which, as you guys could see, this mat had definitely seen better days. So I'm just continuing to run the hot glue down the entire mat, and then once I get to the edges, I want to go ahead and pinch it and make sure it's really on there really well. And then once I get to the corners, I also want to trim off any excess fabric and then just kind of do a little tuck here and then continue to run my hot glue down the side of the little mat. So super easy, and just think you guys could really do this on any rug. And then I'm going to show you a little trick to kind of seal it off. So the majority of these projects can be used for outdoor use. Just always remember to seal it with an acrylic sealer, or what I'm going to use is this polyacrylic. So this is actual fabric that I'm using polyacrylic on top of, and I've never done this in my life, and I didn't even Google it to make sure it was a thing. So I went ahead and added 2 coats of polyacrylic. I added the first coat and then I let the mat sit out in the sun to dry, and then I added the second coat. So this mat is going to be more of a decorative mat, so nobody's really going to be stepping on it a whole bunch. I would probably recommend to use a shower curtain instead of a piece of fabric, but again, for this project, this isn't going to be a heavily trafficked area, so I thought 2 coats of polyacrylic would be just fine. Now the polyacrylic worked. I did pop it out on my deck, but I think I'm actually going to probably end up using it by my back door. We shall see though. It looks so adorable on my front porch. So for the next Dollar Tree DIY, I'm going to take this summer sand and sun sign, and I'm going to use my polyacrylic. And I have you all ask so many questions about how you can put your Dollar Tree signs outside, and I've had so many people comment and tell me to use an acrylic sealer or the polyacrylic. So I'm going to use the polyacrylic, and I added 3 coats total to this sign. So you want to add a coat and then let it dry, and I'm doing the front and back just to give it a little bit of extra coverage. Now I'm not guaranteeing this is going to be an amazing fix for the Dollar Tree signs that like to melt down out and about in the weather, because this is the first time I ever used polyacrylic. So we're going to test this out, and I really think though that this is going to help it not get warped. So I'm adding it to the little spot next to my front door, and my signs always end up getting warped. So cross our fingers this is really going to work, and this was suggested by you guys. So for the next Dollar Tree DIY, I'm taking this Dollar Tree garden gate. Now this was just a $1 garden gate that I had painted white, and I want to make it into a Mackenzie Childs inspired garden decor piece. So I'm taking this piece of blue tape and I'm just going to run it down the center. My idea is to paint some stripes on this. So once I have the first piece of tape, that's where I'm going to then add a second piece of tape, just measuring it to give it kind of a striped effect. You're going to continue to do this until you have so several pieces of tape in this striped fashion. And then once I have the tape added, I'm just going in with some black acrylic paint, and I'm going to begin to paint my stripe details. Also, I wanted to note that I use 2 coats, maybe even 3, of the black paint to make sure it has really nice, good coverage. Now I'm going in with some gold acrylic paint. Now these paints are from Arteza. It's a craft company online, and they're really nice quality acrylic paints, but really you could use any that you love or that you have on hand. And now I'm going to go ahead and peel the little paint tape stickers off. And then I decided just to use a Sharpie to mark out these little detailed spots because they were a little bit more intricate. And so I'm just using that piece of tape to measure, and I decided to continue on with the stripe pattern. I thought about doing polka dots, but the width of the little garden fence really wasn't wide enough to do a really good polka dot, and to be honest with you, my hand isn't super steady, so these kind of projects are actually a little bit of a challenge for me, but they're also really relaxing. I don't know if that's crazy or not. I don't know. Comment and let me know if you guys kind of like to sit down and do a really detailed project and find it a little bit relaxing, even if it's not perfect. So give yourself grace and give me some grace on this as well, but just continue to add some pretty stripes. And if you don't want to do black and white and you want to do pink and white or purple or any color that sits your design and your fancy, go for it. This is what I'm into right now because I did add black and white couch cushions to my outdoor front porch, and so I wanted to mix in and also be versatile for fall and Christmas. I'm always thinking about that next season or holiday that's coming up, and I want it to last throughout the season. The next step to giving it that Mackenzie Childs inspired flair is to add some gold brushed paint. So you just take a little bit of gold paint and brush that in to the white spots, and it's a little bit hard to see, but it really does give it that really pretty kind of vintage Mackenzie Childs French farmhouse, just a flair. So now I'm taking some Waverly antique wax, and I'm going to antique it as well. Again, I really want to give it just that aged appearance and make it look like it was more of a vintage hand painted piece. It's also going to help seal it, and I did end up using this outside, and so I also sealed this with the polyacrylic. That way it stays a little bit nicer for a little bit longer. So check this out. So I popped it into my little flower garden just back in the back. I did have to trim off one of the little prongs, but I think that this is super adorable, and I can change it out when fall comes. I can add mums, and then when Christmas comes I can have poinsettias. So there you have it, and it matches perfectly with my front porch. So for the next Dollar Tree DIY, I'm taking these Dollar Tree garden planters, and they were originally a different color. I painted them white just with some spray paint, and now I'm taking some Mod Podge and this Mackenzie Childs napkin. So the napkins are on mackenziechilds.com, and they're about $6.95 for a pack of these cocktail napkins, which is what I use in my projects for this project. And I'm just taking I'm using the waterproof Mod Podge. Now I am going to leave these outside, so the waterproof Mod Podge really helps. Otherwise, you don't want to leave your items that you've Mod Podged outside. So I just added a nice good layer of Mod Podge, and then I'm going to peel off the white part of the napkin, and then I'm going to add the napkin to the front of the planter. Now, if you wanted to get really technical, you could cut all these flowers out and really make it perfect and pretty, but I'm just going to pop these outside on my front gardening table, and so I'm just going to go for it and have fun and just add some layers of beautiful napkins. I loved the one that I did for inside my house, and so I've been racking my brain how to kind of duplicate this on something for the outside, and so this was the perfect solution. And I did add a layer of Mod Podge on top of the napkin, and then I'm just trimming it off, and then also taking in and around the edge of it and adding another layer of Mod Podge, and that's going to pull that napkin kind of over. And so once I have that finished off, I can just go ahead and take another napkin and add another napkin in. So again, same technique, you just add Mod Podge all over your little project. And I was going a little bit quickly, and so the napkin did get stuck while I was Mod Podging, but it would be nice if you have the extra time to kind of let everything dry in between coats. But I'm going for it and just getting this done, and so adding lots of layer of Mod Podge on the bottom part of the planter and then over the top part, and voila, you have an ultra fabulous $1, except for the napkins, Mackenzie Childs inspired planter. And if you guys have seen their website, their stuff is so gorgeous because it's hand painted, and props to all the artists out there that do their work. But I really love that we can dupe these in our own budget. So definitely having fun with this and duping some of these, as well as I do own a couple of their pieces that were a gift to me by my wonderful husband, Mr. Romantic, aka, and his real name is Josh. So there we have it. And then I wanted to show you guys too this little black one. So the black one's really pretty. It was a little bit bold. Usually I do a lot of pastels and more kind of shabby chic French farmhouse vibe, but I love this black. And several of you guys have commented and let me know actually that you had ordered the black, and you can see I was starting a different DIY with these. I was going to actually paint them, hand paint them, and realized that that was going to be very time consuming and tedious. So I went for the Mod Podge technique. Now the next part of this DIY, I'm going to create a floral. So I'm just hot gluing some floral foam onto the base of this, and that way I can create a pretty little arrangement. So on the table that I have outside, it gets so much sun that it's really difficult to keep plants alive. So I wanted to go for something that was fake. So I'm just using this pile of flowers. They're from the thrift store, garage sales, the craft store, and a mix of Dollar Tree. So just grab whatever you have on hand to create a really fun little summer bouquet. I'm using daisies and roses and tulips, and then some little purple flowers that I had, again, just popping them in kind of randomly, but with the same color scheme that's in with the project that I'm working on. Now I'm just adding a little bit of faux green moss that you pick up at Dollar Tree or pretty much any craft store, and that's going to kind of fill it in and give it that fun little summer garden vibe. And I am so crushing on this little creation. These are so fun and inexpensive, and they just go along perfectly with what I'm doing out on my front porch. So I'm just mixing in beautiful florals and stripes and really fully embracing summer summer and just kicking back and relaxing and loving it. So for the next Dollar Tree DIY, I'm going to take one of these flower garden planters from Dollar Tree, and I just spray painted the planter white with some white matte spray paint by Rust-Oleum. And then I'm just going to just take this piece of cardstock and I want to measure it to make kind of like a little flexible ruler. So again, I'm going for kind of a Mackenzie Childs flair with this, and I would just want to take my Sharpie and begin to create straight lines. Now for this one, I'm going to go for the checkerboard pattern. So I feel like this is a little bit easier and less wasteful than using the tape. I've been using the tape for my checkerboard pattern, but I found out that this is a little bit easier. So I'm trying it this time and I ended up really liking it. It is a little bit tricky because you have to keep your hands steady, but you're just going to add marks up and down, and then you're going to go side to side now. So you're just going to use your Sharpie again, and that is going to trace out your little checkerboard pattern. Now again, give you some grace, this isn't perfect, and I don't know if you guys ever noticed, but I'm actually crafting upside down. So when I'm filming this, I'm back behind the project and I'm looking over it. So sometimes you may see mistakes just because that can be a little bit tricky sometimes. But anyway, I'm taking some black craft paint and I'm just going to begin to fill in the checks with the black craft paint. This is Arteza craft paint. I love it. It's a high quality acrylic paint, but you can use honestly any acrylic paint will work. And again, because I did end up using it outside, just a little side note, you can see I messed up there and started painting one of the white spots, and it's super easy to fix that. All you guys have to do is just use some white paint. So you're going to let that mess up dry and then just go back over it very easily with white paint, and it is going to have like a vintage age distress look at the end. So it's not a big deal, you guys. Have fun with this, go for it. Use your colors, use the colors that you love. These are the colors that I love right now. Every person that's creative and artistic loves to try new styles, which I do. And so this is the style that I have been loving recently. But again, customize it to fit your fancy and to suit your home decor and what you love. So I'm just continuing to add in the little checkerboard pattern, and I did do 2 coats of the black with this. The next step is to add in some gold paint. So I trimmed the base and the top with gold paint, and now I'm just rubbing some gold paint with this brush to kind of, again, give it that Mackenzie Childs inspired checkerboard pattern with the way that they brush the gold into the squares, which I love. Gives you so much grace in your painting. Now I'm taking the Waverly Antique Wax and I'm just running it over the entire project. You can see I'm even kind of getting a little sloppy because I'm then going to go in with my towel and just rub it right back off. So all it's going to do really is just give the white more of almost like a cream color. So super fun and fabulous. And then I'm taking a piece of sandpaper because I want the French lettering to stand out that was originally on the tin. So I'm taking that piece of sandpaper and just gently sandpapering over those French letters to get them to pop back out from the tin. You could also not paint the checkerboard on that part, which I was kind of debating back and forth, but I did end up painting it. And then I'm also just running the sandpaper kind of a little bit gently along the front of the planter. And I am so, again, loving this. Oh my goodness. I just drool over the Mackenzie Childs garden planters, and they're so expensive. I'm using this for my front porch. On my little bench, I'm popping my shovel and my really dirty garden gloves. But hey, this is real life, right? I probably need to buy a cute pair that'll look decorative, but these are the ones I'm actually going to use when I'm gardening. So there you have it, looking perfect. The little rooster pillow is actually from Walmart. It was only $5. They sell them in those big bins and they're fabulous. They're outdoor pillows and just super fun and fabulous. Looks perfectly. So for the next Dollar Tree DIY, I'm taking one of those Dollar Tree butterfly stickers and I'm going to spray paint it with the Ultra Matte Spray Paint again. And I ended up spray painting 3 of these. And then I'm just going to trace along the napkin that I want to decoupage to the front of the butterfly. Mackenzie Childs has beautiful butterflies on their website, and I knew that we could make these using Dollar Tree supplies and some of their napkins. So the other thing is, a lot of you all have asked, why do I paint everything white first before I decoupage? If you leave the original color on there, your napkin won't show through as strongly with the color, so that other color will bleed through. So the butterflies were like red and hot pink, and so it showed through a little bit too much, and I wanted more of that checkerboard to show through. So I'm just cutting my napkin out, and then you're going to want to remove the extra white layer before you begin your Mod Podge. And then once you have that extra layer removed, you can just take some of your Mod Podge, and I'm using the waterproof Mod Podge. I found it at Michael's. You can probably order it online as well, but for these outdoor projects, I think it's a better option. Of course, you could always use the little butterfly indoors as well. And I did seal it also with polyacrylic. So I'm just adding a generous layer of Mod Podge, and then I'm popping my little napkin on top of there, and then I always add another layer as well. And you can remove it and reapply it, but you have to do it quickly, otherwise I've had many a napkin tear. So comment and let me know if you guys have any tips for me on this process, and I hope you guys are loving this as well. I also ended up adding a little bit of gold tips around these butterflies just to make them that more fun and fabulous. And of course, we do need a floral butterfly, right guys? So I'm doing one in flowers as well. So I just popped these butterflies into my fern. That garden floral that we did in the last DIY video, you guys absolutely loved it. So I thought it'd be cute to add these little butterflies just gently resting on my fern. And as always, I ask that you all comment and let me know what was your favorite DIY in this video. I love to hear your feedback and what you all love, so I know to do more of those. And also don't forget to subscribe and comment, because I have so many giveaways planned, and I will be announcing the purse giveaway winner on the next upcoming video, and that's going to be on Thursday. So you guys stay tuned. Don't forget to comment and subscribe, and thank y'all for being here. It means so much.
So thank you all so much for joining me on another fun and fabulous crafty decor adventure. It is a true blessing and an honor to have you all here. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel so you guys can be entered into a bunch of my giveaways. I have a purse giveaway going on, as well as a Cricut once we hit 200K plus $200. So much fun. Also, follow me over on Facebook. I do more videos, as well as a Facebook group page that's totally free. If you want to socialize with other crafty decor friends, pop over there, request to join. I'll approve your request, and you can post photos of your home decor and your DIY projects. I also have Olivia's Romantic Home Instagram page. It's totally free over there, again, to join. all of my social medias are. And you can follow me over there, and I do sneak peeks behind the scenes of my little crazy crafty mama life. So thank you guys again for being here. And today's secret question, to give you another chance to enter that purse giveaway, which is going to be announced Thursday, is what is the favorite flower for summer? So whatever your favorite summer flower is, mine is definitely going to be the rose. I have a ton of roses in my garden. Actually, I love all flowers, but probably my favorite is definitely the rose. Also, I want to give a shout out to Thread Tank for sending me this Crafting Sparks Joy t-shirt. Thank you guys so much. Their tees are super soft and fabulous, and I'm going to leave a coupon code below for you guys to order and get 10% off. It's called Olivia 10 with a Thread Tank. So thank you guys for popping these shirts on and sending them my way. So thank you guys again. I am giving you guys a big giant hug and wishing you a gorgeous blessed day. I can't wait for the next video. Remember, be kind to yourselves and be kind to one another. Until then, we will talk to you later. Bye bye.